All right, Ms. Maloney, you may sit down.
Thank you.
Could you hand that exhibit to me, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Attorney Tom Bosco?
David Platta, Your Honor, will be our next witness.
All right, so you can come up to the witness stand. When you get up here, please remain standing and raise your right hand to get sworn in by the clerk.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. You may have a seat. Get yourself situated nice and close to the microphone, and when you are ready, please start by stating your name, spelling your first and last for the record.
My name is David Platta, D-A-V-I-D. Last name is Platta, P-L-A-T-T-A.
You may go ahead.
Thank you very much. And good afternoon, Mr. Platta. Can you please tell the jury what your rank within the Waukesha Police Department is, sir?
I'm a specialist at the Waukesha Police Department.
And how long have you been with the Waukesha Police Department, sir?
I'm in my 23rd year.
And directing your attention to October 30th of 2024, did you respond to 1512 East North Street?
Yes.
And did you respond to assist with the death investigation at that time, sir?
Yes.
And when you arrived at that particular location, were you tasked with specifically assisting with a search of apartment 13?
Yes.
And apartment 13, who resided in apartment 13 at that particular residence?
At the time, it was victim Carlos.
Okay. Is his last name Maldonado?
Yes.
And at the, did you in fact make entry into that particular apartment, sir?
Yes.
And when you made entry into the apartment, can you describe the condition of that particular apartment?
The apartment looked like a normal apartment, normal life. There didn't appear to be any sort of signs of a struggle. Didn't appear to be anything in disarray. It was a lived-in look in the apartment with nobody in it.
Did it appear to you to be fairly clean?
Yes.
And 2 days later, then, directing your attention to November 1st of 2024, did you respond back to apartment 13 at that particular residence?
Yes.
And were you tasked or were you specifically doing something specifically at apartment 13 on that day, sir?
Yeah, we were doing a more thorough investigation for suspicious circumstances, and it involved photography, a more detailed search of the apartment, and looking for any sort of signs of other evidence.
Did you process that particular apartment using a concept known as blue star latent bloodstain reagent?
Yes.
And is reagent spelled R-E-A-G-E-N-T?
Yes.
And can you tell the jury what that is?
Blue star reagent is basically a different version of luminol. It will cause fluorescence if there's presence of blood. We used that to see if there's any of the stains in the apartment were possibly blood. Throughout the apartment, I tested numerous different locations of stains. The only spot that had a slight reaction was the bathroom sink. However, which was a very minimal reaction, upon examining that, we did not observe any sort of blood or tissue or anything that was in the sink or around it, and the reaction was so minimal, it was determined that it could have been just through natural use of the sink for shaving or other situations.
If Carlos had been killed in that, or excuse me, Mr. Maldonado had been killed in that particular apartment that he lived in, would you expect to have seen more of a reaction when you did the blue star latent bloodstain reagent?
It would depend on how or where he was killed. If he was killed on something that in there that could have been removed and that would have absorbed any blood, then we would not have had any reaction. But if it was not, we would probably expected to find at least some sort of reaction or something. If he was injured, that there would be something like where he tried to clean up from an injury, that there would be the reaction in a tub or a sink or somewhere.
And do you have any specialized training and experience that allows you to appropriately operate this blue star latent bloodstain reagent analysis?
Yes, I had training from the Milwaukee Crime Lab for the use of this reagent.
And just in terms of your experience, how many times have you utilize this practice in the scope of your employment?
About a total of 6 times so far.
Now, Detective, directing your attention now a little bit forward to December 2nd of 2024. On that particular day, were you called to provide service for the search warrant?
Yes.
And you were called in to provide service of a search warrant regarding Mr. Lychwick's vehicle, is that right?
Correct.
And when you arrived on the scene where Mr. Lychwick's vehicle was, were you tasked to do something specifically?
I assisted with the collection of evidence from the vehicle. My partner did most of the photography of it. Once evidence was collected and secured, I assisted in processing a couple of items that were recovered.
Do you know whether there was a particular boot that belonged to Mr. Lychwick that was recovered from the vehicle?
Yes, there was a heavier outside utility type boot.
Type of boot, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And did you do anything specifically with reference to this boot?
Yes, I observed that there was kind of a reddish stain on the boot, so we collected a couple swabs of it in case it was possibly blood for further analysis.
And you used the word swab. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? What do you mean by swab?
For swabs, we have, they're sterile swabs. They're basically like a large Q-tip. They come in a package of 2. It's sterile from there. We remove it. We swab the item with like a wipe or 2, kind of like we're wiping it down, and then secure it into a sterile packaging for a cardboard box in order to maintain the integrity of any possible like DNA evidence from it.
And did you swab specific areas on this boot?
Yes, the areas of the reddish substance.
And just to remind the jury again, which areas did you observe the red substance on?
It was on the bottom of it and a little bit on this side of the boot.
Based on your training and experience, is that red substance consistent with that of being human blood?
At the time, I did not know if it was suspected blood. I would not be able to say for sure at the time if it was 100% human blood or not. It just was a suspicious reddish substance at the time.
And what happened to the swabs that you actually executed with respect to this item? What happened after you finished with them?
I packaged them and sealed them, and I believe my partner would have taken them down to the crime lab at some point.
And who was your partner at this point, sir?
Specialist Schmidt.
And did you collect a total of 4 sets of swabs as it relates to this boot?
Yes.
When you were assisting with the search of Mr. Lychwick's vehicle, were you made aware of any firearms that were inside the vehicle?
Yes, there was one firearm located.
And do you know where this firearm was located?
I believe it was located in the trunk.
And when you were on scene, were you asked to also swab this particular firearm?
I did not swab the firearm on scene. We collected the firearms and all the rest of the evidence. Once we got it back into our processing area, then that's where I swabbed the scene as we could maintain it in as sterile of an environment as possible for processing.
So basically the reason why you did not swab that firearm on scene was the environment was not appropriate.
It was, yes, correct. It was outdoor in our pole barn with numerous other items nearby. We wanted to keep it secured, isolated, so to prevent any sort of cross-contamination. Once we were able to finish that, we brought the items in so I could swab it in a more sterile environment to avoid any sort of contamination.
And when you completed the swabs of both the boot and this firearm, were you wearing gloves?
Yes.
And why were you wearing gloves?
To prevent any sort of contamination from either my DNA getting onto the item or, transferring DNA from other items.
Is that a standard practice in your department?
Correct. We handle items with gloves, and when we're going to do DNA, we set up the items, set up our area, put on a fresh pair of gloves that has not touched anything other than anything until we are ready to swab the items, at which point we grab the sterile swabs, process the firearm, secure everything, and then repackage it. So the pair of gloves has not touched any items belonging to the suspect, myself, or the PD. They are removed from the box, put on, process the firearm, and then items are secured.
And the firearm that you located in Mr. Lychwick's vehicle, was it a silver Luger P-08?
Yes.
And in terms of the area that you swabbed this firearm, which areas did you swab specifically on this firearm?
I swabbed the grip area of the firearm, I swabbed the slide of the firearm, and then the trigger area of the firearm.
And why did you swab those particular areas of the weapon, sir?
Just from firearm handling, I know those are the primary areas that somebody will manipulate, so I try to collect those 3 swabs to have the highest potential for locating a person's DNA on the firearm.
So the reason why you swabbed those particular areas is because those are the commonly used areas. If an individual's DNA would be on the particular firearm, those would be the areas.
Yes.
Is that an appropriate clarification?
Yes.
Thank you. And do you know ultimately, sir, the swabs that you collected from this Luger firearm, what happened to them after you finished with them?
Again, my partner, Specialist Schmidt, took them down to the crime lab for testing.
And do you know whether the crime lab is able to do a further analysis of these types of swabs when they receive it?
Yes.
Just 1 second, sir. Yeah. That's all the questions I have. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Lychwick, would you like to ask any cross-examination questions of this witness? All right, Specialist, you may sit down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, fair enough. Your Honor, our next witness would be Specialist Andy Schmidt.
Okay. Specialist, you may come all the way up to the witness stand here. When you get up to the chair, please remain standing and raise your right hand to be sworn in by the clerk.